Good morning. This is Daniel Posney, and this is called Shifting Perspectives. And just a little short topic that came up this morning and yesterday. Uh, so I started to look at the different stories that I've held about myself that say who I am. And I remember saying this one a lot, that I'm a minimalist. And then I would kind of project that out and expand that out to maybe I was a monk in another life. And it kind of gave me this sense of identity. And I started to wonder if why I'm so attracted to Japanese culture, and that they're like everything in its place and not a lot of clutter and that kind of thing. And on the one hand, you could think those things are very virtuous, or they really help you in your life. There are definitely some positive aspects of that. But then I started to think about, they're all parts of my identity, and I want to really, I'm just the kind of person that looks deeply into those things, that even though they help me, I want to look at how those things that could help me could also become a poison in my life. And it's this is sort of related to looking at something like the Native American medicine wheel. You want to have that medicine wheel, or all directions or all aspects of your life, in some sort of balance, that when there's not enough energy placed in that direction, then you need to do a lot of weeding in that direction, because you're not giving energy to that direction. And there's some directions that we spend too much time in, and they become poisoned. So the same thing with the different, you might call them virtues and flaws, or things that are detrimental to us, that we think are detrimental to us. So if I expanded on this idea about being a minimalist, when I really looked at it, the part that could become a poison to me is that I'm such a minimalist that I don't need anything. And I can tell that that's kind of how I was, is that I kind of had my hands up like this, that I don't need more love than I have. I don't need that deep relationship. I don't need that abundance to me. I'm just the world can just stay right here. And I know a lot of people that I've talked to have that same kind of thing, where it's tied into being a people pleaser. So they're going out to other people, and but they don't allow that in. And for me, I kind of attached that to, oh, I must be a minimalist. And so there was sort of my coping mechanism, if you will. So they kind of created that identity and made it into something, well, this is who I am. And I could feel myself kind of going, well, I'm just a minimalist, so that's why I'm this way. But then I go, why is it that I wasn't attracting abundance? And it was more lack consciousness. And it was just kind of all that same bubble. So this talk is just an invitation to look at those things that you might have been saying to other people, that this is just the way I am. Or you maybe have a conversation with someone, you go, oh, hey, I'm a minimalist too. Or, oh yeah, I think about these things too. Or this is just the way I am. And then you get some kind of identity with each other. But look at that. I invite you to look at that and see if there's any way that that little virtue of yourself, or that little aspects or identity of yourself, could become a poison if it's used too much. Like if I use that minimalist identity too much, and it's not in balance, that it may start to poison my life. Let's say that you're the kind of person that goes, well, I just don't, I just like to go with the flow. And that's an awesome thing, in balance. But if you're the kind of person that just kind of goes with the flow, then that could be a poison, in that you don't have that that gumption, that direct drive, that masculine energy to make something happen, which is useful sometimes. So this all kind of, I can hear in my thoughts that it's kind of connected with spiritual bypass sometimes. It's like, oh, love and light, and let it all go. Yeah, that's awesome. And with a little bit of direction, you can start to cultivate things and create things and express things. And that's part of why I'm here. I'm allowing God to move through me, this energy to move through me, and then there's a little bit of action on my part that's required. So there's balance in the not doing and the doing and the being, and all that's a kind of a beautiful orchestration of life, because there is some form of doing in this life, in this reality, and pairing that up with being. So here's some things that you might have heard or maybe hear in your own mind. I'm a minimalist. I'm too sensitive. So that one, I'm just so sensitive. And you think, oh, it's just such a detriment to be so sensitive. Everything takes me down. But when you consider that we live in an emotional reality, that your way forward, your way of deciding where to go in the world is an emotional navigation system. And if your emotions are really activated and on, and you're feeling things, that's a real gift. And the hardest thing for me to see in the 15 years that I've been doing this work is people that are shut down emotionally, that they're completely, I just want to be balanced. I just want to be peaceful. And that can also be a coping mechanism, that they haven't allowed their real emotions to surface and to be felt. And that's kind of why I'm here too, is to feel those emotions, even anger, even rage, that I know what that feels like. And for the path that I'm on, it's really healthy for me to know that I have all those emotions. Of course, I want to stay in joy and bliss and ecstasy all the time as much as I can. But I also look back at those times when I felt that anger and the rage and the not knowing and the depression. And I go, oh, life has been so rich. If it was just like this the whole time, what a freaking boring life that I would have had. I'm not here to have this flatline experience. So it's a balance of all those things. And anything that I'm saying about the emotional field and about those deep, dark emotions, of course, keeping that in balance too. So if you're saying that this is a detriment, that I'm too sensitive, know that, oh man, for you to have those sensitive feelings and those emotions, that is such a blessing and a gift when cultivated and used in a way that is balanced and healthy in your life. And you can do that. It doesn't have to completely take you over, because those sensitive emotions can be paired together with the thoughts of the mind. And that's where everything can run. I'm like, you have this sensitive emotion about something, and then your mind can take it off and, well, it means this, and it means this, and that's because of this. And that's where it gets kind of crazy. But if you can learn to pull back on the mind and just feel those emotions, allow them to be felt in your body, that's where, man, that's such a beautiful thing. Here's another one. I care about animals more than anything. But what about your fellow humans? What about yourself? And I've seen, not everyone thinks this way, but I've seen people that feel so strong to help animals, and they want to do everything they can to help animals, and they don't really want to deal with humans. And you can see how if they've had a traumatic or bad experience with other humans, then they'll go, oh, animals they don't talk, and they don't give me a hard time. So it's like not really looking at the healing and integration of what happened in their life. Not all the time, but it can happen. There's another one that I just kind of mentioned. Being balanced is important to me. And I just spoke to someone not too long ago, and she was very, very like spiritually conscious, but with no feeling in any way or the other. And I had asked her after a session, do you feel better? No, I don't know if I don't want to feel better. I just want to be. And that's awesome in itself up to a point. And I was just thinking, wow, I want to feel better and not so good. And I want to feel this rush of energy, and I want to feel alive. But when I feel this complete balance, I feel like I'm missing something. And there can be, in some of those cases, a spiritual bypass, that this idea that that spirituality or living life in this way is a completely balanced way of being, like this Zen kind of no emotion, nothing pulls you in or way other. And yeah, that's a beautiful place to be sometimes. But after a while, life kind of works on you and kind of pulls other things out of you. And to kind of want to be in that balance all the time can be a spiritual bypass. Not all the time, but it can be just something to look at. Another one is I just want joy in my life. And the movie that really reminds me about this is Inside Out. And it's kind of, if you haven't seen it, it's an animated movie from Disney, and they did a really good job of expressing this idea that here's this girl, or an aspect of this girl, that wants to be in joy all the time. And she's got, I think it's disgust, fear, and anger. Is that all of them? That all different aspects of this person, of the personality. And she's just trying to do whatever she can to make sure that joy is happening right now. But there's a great message in there how disgust and anger and fear all play a part in actually creating the life into a deeper experience. So it was really profound. It was really good. So the question that I have for you is, what is the positive trait or virtue that you say is you? Like I'm a minimalist, and I think of that as like a positive thing. It like kind of cooks up this idea that I'm this peaceful, balanced, not needing too much, and like it brings up this idea that I'm this Zen Buddhist monk or something, which is not really true. I've got anger and I've got passion and, fire inside of me. So to think that I'm just a minimalist that doesn't like driving a Ferrari or having a beautiful home or any of that stuff is really not true. So that positive trait or that virtue that I've kind of held on to can actually be poison in my life, that it can block mentally and emotionally any abundance in my life. It can be like a program that runs. Now, what is the negative flaw that you say about yourself? And how can this be used beneficially and become a flower or a gift in your life? Let's take anger. So you may say that, I just want to get rid of this anger. Well, anger can be a real indicator that something is out of balance or something is not quite right in your body, in your life and in your body. So something is just striking you some way and it's so frustrating. Why is this happening? But it may be that you're in a job, career, or relationship or a part of the world that is just not your thing. And it's been cooked up for so long that it's starting to, you're starting to get angry at yourself and angry at the world. Why is this way? When if there was a decision that needs to be made that will shift that experience, that relationship with whatever, that will allow you to be in better alignment in your life, then the anger would subside. And the anger is also connected with some fear. Some need isn't being met, or in fear of losing something, that it's connected with that. So it's really that anger can be used as an indicator. And of course, that's another one that, if you use that too much, that can be a poison, obviously, but it can actually be used as a gift. Why am I feeling so frustrated inside? It's because you've been living this life that's been so out of balance or out of integrity with yourself that you know it. I'm talking about myself now in my past, that I've known it so deeply inside of myself. And I'm so angry that life isn't different. And why can't I figure this out? Well, it's because you're not supposed to figure it out in the old way. You're supposed to drop and allow something to be felt. And this is kind of where this other aspect of this is that something needs to be felt. And what you've been running away from, this feeling that you've been running away from, that I'm not supposed to feel this negative feeling, can actually be the thing that opens you up. I need to know what this feels like. This anger or this frustration or this out of integrity. I need to know what that feels like so it can be a propellant be the activator in my life. So this idea that we need to stay away from negative emotions can actually kind of limit us into propelling us into something that's actually more in integrity and more authentic in our life. So that's all I got. Just a little homework for you. If you want to take this on, really look at those things that you really said, no, but this is me. This is what I hold to be true. And it's really served me. Okay. Hold on to that, this idea that it's really served you, and probably has, but how can it be poison in your life? So just some healthy self-inquiry to go into. All right. Thank you. I love you. Bless you. And I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.